So in yesterday's session, in previous demos, what I said is Python is a powerful language and it is called as a general purpose programming language developed by Guido van Rossum in the year 1989. So initially it is introduced as an internal project for Mathematical Research Institute called CWI, located in Netherlands. And within 2 years it is released for public so that IT companies can use this software or language and they can develop the applications. So as I told before in previous demos, so Python is not only for application development, but it is used for other various things. So Python is used for mathematical and numerical calculations, and Python is used for automation, and Python is used to manage large amount of data or large volume of data. And using Python, any application or any software we can develop. And when we say about this Python, so Python is called as a lightweight software or lightweight language. Why? Because is here we'll write less lines of code, less programming will be there. Why? Because is Python software foundation or Python community, they have already developed thousands of modules, or hundreds of thousands of modules or libraries are already developed. So by using them, you can build the applications, you can develop the applications easily. And as I told before, Python is portable. So portable means a platform independent. So Python, we can use a Python software or language, we can use in any operating system like Windows, Unix, Linux, Mac OS, then AS400, we can use it. Okay, and Python can be Python applications runs in any operating system and it runs in any machine, in any device it will run. Why? Because is when Python virtual machine is installed, when PVM is installed in any system, then the system may have any OS or any CPU architecture can be there. With the help of Python virtual machine, the application, Python application will run in other operating systems without doing any changes. And when you are working with this Python, so Python has a scalability, performance wise it is good. So in yesterday's demo I've told like how it is good performance wise, it is good related to Java compared with Java. Yesterday we have discussed that. And using Python we can develop versatile applications like highly secured applications, scientific computing applications. You can develop applications for government organizations, then for any business, for any company, the applications can be developed using Python. Okay, so yesterday I've told about all these things, and today we are going to discuss about flavors of Python. So instead of saying flavors, we can say implementations of Python. Python language can be implemented in different ways. So here you can see first one is C Python is there. Okay, so when you are learning Python, then it means that you are learning C Python. Okay, it is the default implementation of Python language. Okay, so before discussing about all these, when you learn C language, so most of you may be knowing C language. So when you learn C language, we can see the flavors. Like we can see flavors in C language, like Turbo C, then ANSI C, then Borderland C. Many are there. Okay. In the same way, here also we will see different flavors or different implementations we are seeing here. So here Python means you are learning C Python. So when we say C Python, it is written in C and Python language, and it is the default and most widely used implementation of the language. So it is having both compilation and interpretation. So yesterday I've told, like when you're working with the latest versions of Python, it has a compiler and interpreter. So yesterday I've shown you with the diagrams also. With the diagrams I've told, like those who are teaching old Python, old versions of Python, they may say like Python has interpreter, it works slow, like this they may say. But when you take Java, it is compiled and interpreted. When you talk about, when we discuss about Python, latest versions of Python, in Python also it is compiled and interpreted. So yesterday I've told this. So when you are working with Python, Python program is compiled, then it gives a bytecode. Python program will yeah, is converted to bytecode. It is compiled with Python compiler. So bytecode means we'll call it as middle level language or intermediate code, or we'll call it as a bytecode or assembly language. Okay, so bytecode means not binary zeros and ones. So bytecode means intermediate language, or we'll call it as middle level language or assembly language. So again, this bytecode is sent to Python virtual machine. So PVM is there, Python virtual machine is there. Okay, so Python virtual machine will contains interpreter. Python virtual machine will interpret the bytecode, and then it gives a native code or executable code. So in first stage, compilation is done. So Python program is compiled and it gives a bytecode. So bytecode is sent to PVM. So PVM will interpret the bytecode, and then it gives a native code or executable code it will gives. So yesterday I've told this with a diagram also. So those that missed yesterday's class, you can watch the video. And when you are working with this C Python, so C Python is developed by Guido van Rossum. So here you can see this person, Guido van Rossum. So as I said before, Python is developed by Guido van Rossum. Python means it is nothing but C Python. Okay. And here you can see the other implementations here, like Jython or JPython is there. We can see the next implementation, Jython or JPython is there. So it is used for developing Java applications. It runs on JVM. JVM means Java Virtual Machine. Okay, so why we should go for these implementations, or why these flavors are required is like, for example, yesterday also we have discussed this. So in when you are working with Python, Python is used for cross-language communication. So we can bring other languages features into Python. Python has got its own features, but we can bring other languages features into Python. Let us say C and C++ are used for yeah, both are used for system programming. So whenever you want to write programs and whenever you want to execute them, then by using C, C++, it is done. And Java means a fast execution will be there. And .NET means high level security will be there. So then what we can do is we can use other languages programs in Python, so that the execution, like we can bring other languages features into Python. That like that we can do it. Okay. So if you want to develop applications in like if you want to develop Java applications, and if you want to use a Python code in that application, Python programs, or Python objects if you want to use there, then using JPython it is possible. Okay, and here you can see third implementation is there. It is used for .NET applications. For .NET applications, Iron Python is used. So if .NET developers are developing .NET applications, okay, and in that .NET applications, if they want to use a Python code, as I said before, Python is not only for application development, but Python can do many other various things also. So in that case, this flavor we can use it. Iron Python can be used in .NET applications. If I want to use a Python code, if I want to use a Python statements in .NET applications to do some task, then Iron Python can be used. So if .NET developers, if they want to work only with C# or ASP.NET, then they can use Visual Studio.NET, like Microsoft Visual Studio.NET. But if they want to go with combination, okay, then they have to use these implementations. And next one is here you can see PyPy is there. So PyPy means we'll call it as Python package index is there here. So this contains the packages developed by Python Software Foundation or Python community. So as I'm saying before also, Python is developed by Guido van Rossum. He is the father of Python. But when we are working with the latest versions of Python, when we see the versions of Python, all these are developed by Python Software Foundation or Python community. Okay, so if you want to find the packages and if you want to install the packages developed by Python community or Python Software Foundation, then using PyPy it is possible. Okay, you can search and you can install the packages and you can use it in Python. Okay, so here I'm saying package here, package word I'm using here. So when we say about this package, when we say about this package here in Python, package is a collection of libraries or modules. Libraries or modules. So when we say module, Python file is called as module, or Python program. Python program is called as module. So Python program or module can have variables, functions, classes, all these can be there. Okay. So here what I said now is a package in Python. Package is a collection of modules or libraries. Okay. So module means nothing but Python program. So Python program or file can have variables, functions, classes, all these can be there. So in Java, when we say package in Java, so package is a collection of, it is the collection of classes and interfaces. In Java, I'm saying. Okay. So in Python, it is the collection of modules. And here you can see this next implementation, that is Ruby Python is there. So Ruby Python means it is used by the web developers working on Ruby on Rails. Okay. So here we are having one technology, server side technology called Ruby Python, Ruby on Rails is there. So Ruby on Rails is the server side technology used for developing websites. Okay. So when the web developers, when the programmers, when they are developing websites, okay, and if they want to use Python in Ruby on Rails, if they want to use Python objects, or if they want to use Python functions, or if they want to use Python code in Ruby on Rails, then they will go with this implementation. Okay, Ruby on Rails and Python combination. Okay, so now we'll discuss about some basics related to websites. So when you are working with the websites in internet, so in internet nearly 6 crores websites are there, and daily 1,000 sites are hosted or published in internet. Okay, so when we are working with websites in internet, like we'll say client system, server system, we'll say these we'll use these words. Okay, so client system has a browser and the server system has a web server. Okay, browser means it is an application, like Notepad, it is an application. Browser is an application. It can be Google Chrome or Internet Explorer, Mozilla, any other browser. Okay, so if the system contains browser, it is a client system, and if the system contains a web server, then it is server system. So web server is a software or an application used to store and to run the websites. So whenever you want to store and whenever you want to run websites, then by using uh, then it is called as a web server. Whenever you want to store and run websites by using web server, it is done. So for Java websites, Tomcat web server is used. So for .NET websites, IIS web server is used. IIS means Internet Information Services. Okay, and for PHP websites, then Apache server is used. And for Django, Python related. For Django websites, then Django web server is there. Django web server is available. That is used. Okay, so here we are saying about two things: client system and server system. And when you are working with websites, we can see static pages and dynamic pages. Website can have only static pages or only dynamic pages, or it can have both. Static and dynamic pages can be there. So HTML, here we are having client side technologies and server side technologies, like While working with websites, we'll use all these client side and server side technologies. So client side technologies means which runs in browser, works in browser, like HTML, JavaScript, then CSS, jQuery, then Bootstrap, DOM, document object model, okay, and Angular and React.js. So all these comes under client side. All these runs in browser, okay. Server side technologies are also there. We'll discuss that also. So when you are working with HTML pages, HTML pages are called as static pages. So we can say them as read-only pages. So they are controlled or managed by the browser. So browser can handle these pages. So we can move from one page to another page in the website, like HTML pages. So HTML pages are used to display same information to all the users accessing the website. Same information like news, then advertisements, then images, like all these we can display with HTML. Like in news portals, news related sites, they will use all these HTML pages. So if you want to design a home page or index page, or if you want to create a about us page, or if you want to create a contact us page, a sitemap, all these can be HTML pages only. Home page or index page means first page that we see in the website. So about us page means it will show information about the company or business, like when it is started, who is the owner, all these information they'll give. And next one is contact us information will be the contact details they'll give. And the sitemap also is there. Sitemap means it gives information about the site, like what all details are there, what pages are available, what information is available. Sitemap is not Google Maps. Okay, it contains information about the site. Then all these pages can be HTML pages. So whenever you are working with HTML pages, like static pages, then we can use other client-side technologies which runs in browser, like JavaScript, then CSS, then next is Bootstrap, a document object model, okay, and next one is Angular, and next is React.js. So all these we can use in as a client side with HTML pages. In HTML pages, all these are used. Okay, so now coming to dynamic pages here. So we are listening about dynamic pages also. So dynamic pages are controlled or managed by the web server in the server system. Web server in the server system. Okay, so while working with these dynamic pages, the advantage of dynamic pages is from user to user, the information will change. So the information will not be same with all the with all the users. Information will change from user to user. Okay, so dynamic pages examples are like login page, okay, registration page, then change password, then password recovery. Then all these are the examples of dynamic pages. Okay, why? Because it's in login page, in registration page, in change password, in password recovery. Then in all these from user to user, information will change because the data is sent to server. Then all these is done. Okay, like for example, when we are working with like Gmail. Okay, so here I'm giving the details here, username, password I'll give here. So here I'm entering into this site, Google Mail website. So here we'll get the page here. Okay, so here you can see the page here. So in this page, this page will call it as a single page application. Single page application means in one particular page we can work with all the details. No need to move from one page to another page. So if you want to create a single page application, then we'll use Angular. So Angular will use here. Here you can see quick launch bar. So quickly we can navigate to the required information. And here you can see the tabs here. Primary, social, promotion, all these are there. And here you can see the mails what I have received. Okay. So here now I'm going to ask very simple question. So whatever you are seeing now here, so is it a static page or dynamic page? Please give answer. You can type in chat option. Is it static page or dynamic page? Please type in chat option. Is it static page or dynamic page? Okay, so here this is a dynamic page here. It is a dynamic. So why? Because is here when we say about this page, like in like Facebook or else in Gmail, nearly 32 crores accounts are there. Okay, if I connect to Gmail with my account, it will show only my mails. It will not show other users' mails. Okay, so when I connect with my account, it will show only my mails here. Here we can see that. So it is dynamic. So in this dynamic page, from user to user, the information will change. Okay, so when we are working with the dynamic pages, we can create the dynamic pages by using server-side technologies. Here server-side technologies are there. Okay, like we can say back-end technologies. Like front-end means client-side, back-end means server-side. So we can see server-side technologies we can see here. Okay, so server-side technologies are PHP, then JSP, then servlets. Okay, and we can see the other technologies like Django, Python related, Django, Ruby on Rails, what we are discussing now, Ruby on Rails, then Node.js. Node.js is also server-side technology or only. Okay, so here you may be having doubt like why server-side technologies are used, why dynamic pages are used here. So dynamic pages main use or advantage is whatever values we give in dynamic pages, we can store them in the server. In server, we can store the data. So whatever web pages values or website information when we store in the server, the data is safe. You can secure the data from middleman attacks or data tampering, or we can secure the data from hacking. So all these advantages are there. And with the dynamic pages, another use or advantage is we can integrate the web pages with database. So whenever I want to connect the web page with Oracle or SQL Server or with MySQL, like if you want to connect to web page with database, if you want to send the data, and if you want to access the data from the database, then by using dynamic pages, it is possible. Okay, so in the web pages, server side code should be there. Server side technology we should use so that it can integrate with the database, sending the data, accessing the data, all these it is done. Okay, so here if you want to be a web developer, if you want to develop websites, then you need to know Python. So you are all learning Python now. So with Python, you should have knowledge about HTML, then CSS, Bootstrap, all these. Okay, like client-side technologies. And also you need to learn Django. So Django is a server-side technology used to create a dynamic pages. So in Django classes, you can learn why we should choose a Django, what is the use of it. You can learn all those things. Okay, so compared with other server-side technologies, Django is having many features. Many new features will be there, but it is easy to learn also. Developing applications, websites is very easy compared with other server-side technologies. Django is very easy for website development. Okay, so here whatever I've told now, all these comes under Ruby Python. Fifth one I'm telling, fifth one. Okay, so whenever you are working with Ruby on Rails, server-side technology, and in Ruby on Rails, if you want to use Python objects or Python functions, if you want to use, then we have to go with this implementation. Ruby Python should be used. And the next implementation is Anaconda Python is there. So it is specially designed for handling large volume of data processing. So after completing core and advanced Python, if you learn data science, so in data science, this implementation is used, Anaconda Python. So when you're working with data science, you can download this, yeah, and you can use it. So here what they will do is they will take large amount of data of the company or business, and they will analyze the data, and they will generate data, different reports in the form of charts, graphs, all these they will do it. And seventh one is there, that is called Stackless Python is there. Stackless Python means it is used to do multiple activities concurrently or at a time. So whenever you want to do multiple activities at a time, then Stackless Python is used. So in my classes, like in any Python class, like in advanced Python, multi-threading chapter is there. Multi-threading chapter. Okay. So in multi-threading chapter, you will learn how to do multiple activities or multiple tasks using multi-threading. Okay. So when you are learning Python, then you will learn multi-threading chapter also. So when we use multi-threading in Python applications, when we use multi-threading in Python application, then Python application can do multiple tasks at a time. So it can give 2 or 3 results at a time. So we'll not go with the stackless Python. This implementation will not do it. But you will learn how to do multiple activities using multi-threading. Multi-threading chapter is there in Python, in Java, in .NET, in every language it is there. Because when you are developing any application, you have to do multiple tasks. You should allow the user to do 2 or 3 tasks at a time. So in that case, this implementation is used. But in our classes, when you are working with applications, multi-threading chapter is used. Okay. So now here I've told about all these implementations here. So as I said in the beginning, for Python language, default implementation is C Python. Okay. So if anybody is learning Python language, it means that you are learning C Python here. C Python you are learning. Okay. So here I've told some basics here. We have discussed some basics now. So regarding these basics, if you have any doubt, you can please ask. Here I've told some implementations. If any participant is having doubt, you can please ask me. Shall I move to next concepts?
Yeah, sure.
So now we'll discuss about the features of Python. We are going to discuss here features of Python. After discussing features of Python, here you can see all these. All these also we'll discuss. Okay. So when you are working with Python software or Python language, so first feature is easy to learn and use. So when you are working with Python language, as I said before, it is a beginner's language. So without having any programming knowledge, without knowing C language basics, anyone can learn Python. It is not only for IT students, those are from non-IT background, those are from non-technical background, you can learn Python. So Python is a beginner's language. It is like nursery level. Okay, anybody can understand this language, and Python syntaxes are very easy compared with other languages. Python syntaxes are very easy. You can remember the syntaxes, you can write a program, and rules and regulations we can easily follow. When we say any language will have certain rules, so those rules we need to follow. So Python rules are not very difficult. We can easily follow the rules, and we can do programming easily. Okay. And here you can see the second one, that is called expressive language. So Python is a more understandable, and the readability will be there. So easily understandable language, this Python. Okay. Why? Because is here we don't use like difficult words or complex words are not used. Like simple English is used in Python. Like whatever English we speak, So that English is used in Python. That's why it is called as expressive language. And here Python we can call it as interpreted language. Yesterday I've told Python is compiled and also it is interpreted. So Python program is compiled and it gives bytecode. Again, bytecode is sent to Python virtual machine. Python virtual machine will interpret the bytecode and it gives a native code or executable code it will give. And here you can see next one is cross-platform language. So this also I have told before. Cross-platform language means Python is it is portable, okay, and Python is platform independent. So when we say about this Python software or Python language, it is platform independent at development and also at production. At development and at also production. So like those who are learning Python, those who are practicing Python, and those who are developing applications in Python, they can use any operating system. Any operating system they can use. So here, if I want to see the official site of this Python, here python.org is there. So here, this Python site, this python.org site, this is maintained by Python Software Foundation, like Python community. Okay, and here you can see this downloads, and here you can see download latest version for Windows. That is Python 3.8.2 is there. And down you can see looking for Python with different operating systems like Windows or Unix or Linux, Mac OS or other operating systems we can use. Python Software Foundation or Python community, they did not develop Python only for Windows. They have developed Python for Unix, Linux, then Mac OS, then AS400, IBM OS, they have developed. Okay, so it depends on the requirement. We can download the software and we can use it. So that's what I'm saying here. So Python is platform independent at development. So when you're learning Python, when you're practicing Python, when you're developing applications in Python, so Python is available for different operating systems. You can download and you can use it. And also Python works in any flavor of Unix or Linux. Unix or Linux, it will works here. So here you can see the different flavors here. So in any flavor of Unix or Linux, this Python software will works here. Here you can see any flavor of Linux means Sun, Solaris, IBM AX, then HPS, HP UX, then here many other names are there, Mac OS, SCO, Unix, all this. Okay, and here you can see Python works in any flavor of Linux like Ubuntu, Fedora, Linux Mint. So here you can see many other names here. In all the flavors of Unix and in all the flavors of Linux. So this this Python software is going to work. Okay. So now I'm using Python in Windows 10. Now I'm using Windows 10 Pro. Okay. So when I'm using Windows 10 Pro, then Python is downloaded. I'm using it. So in IT companies, they may ask to use Ubuntu or Fedora, because when we use Linux operating systems, they are free softwares and they can use it. Okay, so most of the companies will ask us to use Linux operating systems when we are working with Python. Like in that case, we need to install Ubuntu or Fedora. We have to use it. So when we are working with this Python here, so Python application. So if Python application is developed, let us say I have developed a Python application in Windows. I have developed Python application in Windows. Then that application will run in other operating systems without doing any changes. Without doing any changes, that Python application runs in other operating systems in other machines. it will run directly. Why? Because is there we are going to install PVM, Python virtual machine. So PVM is not a, a physical machine, it is a virtual machine, it is a software. So using that virtual machine, Python virtual machine, Python application runs in any operating system and it will runs in any machine with a different CPU architectures. So Python applications runs in laptop, desktop, tablet PC, in smartphone also it will works. Okay. And when you are working with this Python, when you are learning Python, when you want to work with Python software, then in mobiles also it will works. So in mobile, you can use online compilers like GDB compiler, many other compilers are there. So by using these online compilers, you can practice Python programs, core Python or advanced Python programs. Any program you can practice in Python and you can see the output also. All these are there. Okay. So here when we say about this Python, Python is platform independent at development. Okay. And at production. Okay. So here what I'm saying here is Python software, Python language. Software means language. We can use in different operating systems. Python application runs in different operating systems without any changes, because with the help of Python virtual machine, it is going to be executed. Okay. And here fifth one is there here. So when you are working with this when you are working with this Python here, it is free and open source and redistributed. Python software is free. Okay. And it is open source. Whatever code is there in Python, we can open the code and we can see what code they wrote, what are the statements, what are the functions, all these we can see. And here you can see redistribution is also there. So redistribution means we can customize the code. So Python community or Python software foundation, they have already developed thousands of libraries, thousands of modules. So while developing applications, we can import the libraries or we can import the modules and we can develop the applications. Okay. And whatever modules developed by the Python community, then the code can be customized. Like we can use it as it is, but we can there is chance to customize the code and we can use it. Okay. So now you are all learning Python. So when you are learning core and advanced Python, you will learn many chapters and you will learn how to import the modules, how to use, then you will learn many functions. All these you will learn. Only for learning it will take time. Okay. After that, when you work on Python, let us say you are working on your first project. So when you are working on that first project, whatever you learn, you will implement there. Okay. So in the beginning, while learning, while doing your first project, then if you say, I want to customize the code, like I want to know what is not there in Python, what is missing in Python, then I should customize the code. All this we cannot do in the beginning stages. Okay, let us say you are having a 4 or 5 years experience on Python, like a real-time project experience or live project experience you are having. So if you are expert in Python and if you are working on big domains, if you are working on big domains like banking or insurance or scientific applications, then you will be knowing like what is not there in Python, what is missing in Python. Okay, then what you can do there, then you can modify the Python libraries developed by Python community. You can do modifications, that you can do it. So when you're learning Python, when you're working on first project, then modifying the code means it is difficult. Okay, but if you are expert in Python, then you will be knowing what is not there in Python, what is the requirement in your project, then which code should be customized. So you can customize the code and you can use in your project, and you can give the same code to other programmers, other Python programmers, so that they can use in their projects if the same code is required. That is called as redistribution. Redistribution will call. Okay. So when we are working with this Python here, Python code can be customized. Okay, that customization we can do in real time while working with projects. Customized code we can do it. And here sixth one is there. Python is called as Python supports object oriented programming. Python is supports object oriented programming. It will supports. So when you are working with Python, in previous demos have told Python is a powerful language, or here I'm saying that Python is a great software. All these words I'm using, but you need to know what is this Python is. Python will call it as a scripting language. Python is a scripting language, and here you can see many other scripting languages are there here. Here you can see shell scripting is there, Perl is there, PHP, then TCL/TK, VB script, JavaScript, and PowerShell, Ruby on Rails. All these are the scripting languages. Okay, so Python is also a scripting language here. Python is a scripting language, but Python supports the features of other programming languages. Other programming languages it will features it will support. So here we can see the like what all other languages it will supports here. Here you can see this. So Python supports the features of other programming languages like procedure oriented programming language like C language, object oriented programming like C++ and Java, then scripting languages features like shell script, Perl scripting, and it supports the features of modular programming. Modular programming language is there, module 3 is there. Like I think some many of you did not heard about this module 3. Module 3 is a language, programming language is there. So Python supports the features of all these languages, like how we do programming in C, the same way we can do in Python, like how we do programming in C++ and in Java, like creating a class, creating an object, then all these we can do in Python. Okay, so those who don't know C++ and Java, here we'll discuss about object oriented programming. In advanced Python, one chapter is there, object oriented programming. So in that chapter you will learn what is a class, what is an object. Then you will be learning about OOPS features like encapsulation, inheritance, polymorphism, data abstraction, function overloading, function overriding, constructors, destructors, then garbage collection, operator overloading. All these we are going to discuss about in detail. Like if you are not having any knowledge of object oriented programming, in my classes you can understand easily like how it is working, how it is going to be done. Okay, and here it is supporting scripting language features, like some of you may be knowing shell scripting like commands and scripting, like in the same way we are going to do all this. Okay, so Python has its own features, but it is supporting the features of other programming languages. So when you are listening to these words, like you may think if it is supporting all these languages features, then learning Python is maybe difficult. Okay, so learning Python is not difficult. As I told before, I'm sticking to those words. So Python is simple and it is easy to learn. Even though it supports many programming features of other programming languages, still Python is simple, and Python is it is easy to use. Okay, so when you are working with this Python here, it supports this object oriented programming features here. So if a Python application is supporting object oriented programming features, then Python application will get flexibility. Okay, flexibility will be there, reusability will be there, and here it contains extensibility also will be there. Okay, so when if a Python application is having implementing object oriented programming features, so then the code the code used in Python application. So we'll have reusability. Then here it contains extensibility will be there. So security also will be there. Okay. So here I'm not telling about the code. Sorry, here I'm not telling about data or information. So here I'm telling about the code or statements. So the statements will have security, like code security will be there. Okay, and here reusability will be there. Code we can reuse, like using inheritance, reusability will be there. And here extensibility will be there. So we can extend the code, like with other programming languages, the code can be extended. All these features will get with object oriented programming. And here you can see seventh and eighth one is there, extensible and integrated is there. So as I told before, like with the Python, cross language communication is there. Okay, so here when we say extensible in Python applications, we can use C++ libraries, or we can use a Java or .NET components or programs we can use. That possibility is there. Okay. And here next one is integrated is there. Integrated means in other languages applications, in C, C++, Java, .NET applications, Python code we can use. We can use Python code. That possibility is there. Okay. So we can use Python here in two ways. In two ways it works. In Python application, other languages code we can use. In other languages applications, Python code we can use it. So I have told before why we go with like a cross language communication. So to bring other languages features into Python, or to take Python features into other languages, extensible and integration is used. Okay, and here you can see ninth feature is there, that is called large standard library is there here, large standard library. So when you are working with this large standard library, Python community, Python Software Foundation, they have developed thousands of modules, thousands of libraries. So by using them, you can develop, you can build any type of application in Python. That possibility is that possibility is there. Okay. And here you can see high level language is there here. 10th feature is there, high level language. So when you are working with languages like C, C++, Java, .NET, all these languages are called as strongly typed languages. These languages we can call them as strongly typed languages, like C, C++, okay, Java, .NET. All these languages are called as strongly typed languages, because based on the given data type, memory is allocated and variables are stored in the memory. Okay, so when you write program in C, C++, Java, .NET, then we'll start with declaration, like we'll give data types and variables we'll use. Okay, so based on the given data type to the variables, then the memory is preserved or allocated, and the values can be stored in the memory. So when you're working with all these languages, you need to know about data types clearly, like how many bytes they'll preserve. Okay, then what is the range of the value? Like data types will have range. So range of the value, like how many values we can store. Then all these you need to have clear idea. Okay, so when you work with other languages, a programmer should know clearly about memory management. Okay, like memory management, if the programmer is not knowing, then programmer cannot do programming. It is not possible. So programmer should focus on memory management, like data types, then bytes, then range of the values, all this. Then only programming is possible. Okay. So when I'm working with, let us say, if I'm working with C language, then I will give declarations like this. Then int a char s of 20 is given, and here I'll say float b is given here. So let us say I'm declaring variables like this in C language. Okay, in C language I'm declaring variables like this. So int a means in a variable a I can store integer values. Then for integer value it preserves 2 bytes. It will give 2 bytes in the memory. Okay, and in Python we are having int data type. Int data type is there in Python. Okay, so when you work with operating systems, like now I'm using Windows 10 Pro, 64-bit I'm using. So in Windows we can see 32-bit and 64-bit also. In Python, when you're using Python software, when you're using Python language, you can use a Python 32-bit or Python 64-bit. Okay, so in my system, Python 32-bit is there. So here you can see, ideally Python 3.8 32-bit it is showing. Okay, so when I'm using Windows here, I'm using 64-bit I'm using. Like right click on my PC, then properties. And here you can see this. Here you can see Windows 10 Pro. And here you can see this. Here, system type 64-bit I'm using. So when you are using other softwares, when you are using .NET or Oracle, or when you are using SQL Server, then you should choose whether you want to go with 32-bit or 64-bit. Okay, so in Python also int is there. Int is there. Okay, in C language also int is there. So this int in C language is 16-bit int. Okay, so when we say bit, 8 bits is equal to 1 byte. So bits means zeros and ones. So in next sessions we'll discuss about like bitwise operators, then binary number system. Related to binary values, we'll see many examples. Bitwise operators also we'll discuss. Okay, so here int in C language it is 16-bit. So 8 bits is equal to 1 byte. So it takes 2 bytes in the memory. Okay, now I'm using when coming to this Python here, in Python now I'm using Python 32-bit. If it is a Python 32-bit, then int 32 will works here. When I'm using int 32, when I'm using int in Python, then it will uses int 32. It will uses int 32. Okay, so when I'm using int data type in Python, based on the software I'm using, Python 32-bit, internally it takes as int 32. Then int will take how many bytes here? Please give answer. Please give answer. This int will take how many bytes? No one is responding. No, here it will takes 4 bytes. So 32 means for 8 bits is equal to 1 byte. So 4 bytes it will take. Okay. So if I'm using Python 64-bit, let us assume I'm using Python 64-bit I'm using. Then in that case, if I write int, if I use int, then it will take as int 64. Okay. So int 64 means how many bytes now? Please give answer. So 8 bytes it will 8 bytes it will take. Okay. So in what I'm trying to say is in Python int data type is there. But if I'm using Python 32-bit, then int will take 4 bytes. If I'm using Python 64-bit, int will take 8 bytes. Okay. So regarding this 32-bit, 64-bit, some students may have doubt, like what is the meaning of this. So that's why I'm telling all these basics also. Okay, so now here You can see this in C language. If I give like this int a, then it will take 2 bytes because it is a 16-bit int. 2 bytes it will take. Okay, so in this variable a, I can store integers. Can I store characters in variable a? Please give me answer. Can I store characters in variable a? So it is not possible. We cannot store. That's why we are calling it as a strongly typed. Strongly typed means based on the given data types, according to the given data types, value should be stored. Okay, in variable a, I can store only integers. I cannot store characters. That's why we are saying strongly typed. Okay, so in a variable s, I can store 20 characters. For 20 characters, it preserves 20 bytes. And here float b is there. For float b, it will store, it will take 4 bytes in the memory in a C language. Okay, so in C, C++, Java, .NET, we have to use data types in the program. According to the given data types, memory is allocated, values are stored. So other languages data types are called as static data types. Static data types means memory is allocated, memory is preserved for the variables when the program is compiled. When the program is compiled, memory is allocated for the variables given to the data types. That's why they are called as static data types. Okay, so when coming to this Python here we will call Python as a loosely typed language. Loosely typed language. Okay, why? Because is when you're learning core Python, advanced Python, will not use data types in the program. We'll use variables, we'll write statements, but will not use int, then string, float. Data types are not used in the program. So data types are used, data types are assigned to the variables when the program is executed. When you are executing the program, when the program is executed, then data types are assigned to the variables. That's why Python data types are called as dynamic data types. Dynamic data types, not static, dynamic, because at runtime when the program is executed, then program will assign data types to the variables, or Python will assign data types to the variables. Okay, so when you are working with this Python here, like how these data types are assigned, all these we'll see now. Here I'm using interactive mode now. So when you install Python, let me uh, complete the session, then we can discuss this. Okay, so when we are working with this Python, when you install Python here, when you install Python, we'll get two modes here, interactive mode and batch mode. So in tomorrow's session, I'll tell how to download the software, how to install, how to get interactive mode, batch mode, all these we'll discuss. So when you are working with interactive mode, every line is executed immediately and then it gives a result. So it is used to check the features of Python. And here idle is there. It is used to write the program, and it is used to execute the program here, to write the program and to execute the program. Then idle is used. Idle is used here. Okay, so now I'm using interactive mode. Here I'll type the commands here. Here I'll say s equal to, here I'll type a Hyderabad. So s is a variable. Okay, and Hyderabad is a string or value. So I'm not giving data type here. I'm not declaring string s, char s is not given. Okay, now here I'll say print s, print function I'm using. It is displaying the value. But if I want to know what data type is assigned, I am not assigning data type. Data type is assigned internally. So now type S. It is showing as str, class str. Whatever data types are created in Python, whatever data types are there in Python, they are created using a class. Using a class. So if you know C++ and Java, you will be knowing what is a class. Okay. So class contains variables and functions. Like I'm just as of now I'm telling like what is a class. Class contains variables and functions. By using a class, you can create an object. Object means variable. Variable you can create. Okay. So when you are working with the when you are working with this class here, it is showing as class str. Okay, what I said now is class contains variables and functions. By using a class, object or variable can be created. And now I'm telling only 1 2 things related to the class. Now here I'll say like this: a equal to 10, b equal to 5, c equal to a plus b. For a, b, c, I'm not giving data types. Okay. And here I'll say print C. I can use print function. Directly I can use C here. It is giving result. Okay. And if I want to know what is the data type of A, it is giving as class int it is giving. Class int it is showing here. Okay. So here we are not giving data types here. Data types are assigned internally by Python. Python is doing it. So that's why Python data types are called as a dynamic data types. Dynamic data types we are saying. Okay, so in Python, program memory management is done automatically. So programmers need not focus on memory management. Memory management is done internally by the program, or Python will internally do it. So these are the features of Python. Here I've told about 10 features. Okay. So tomorrow we are going to discuss about what all applications we can develop, and we'll discuss about how to install the software, then what is interactive mode, batch mode. Then we'll discuss about basic data types also, like what all fundamental data types are there. Tomorrow I'm going to start this fundamental basic data types. I'll start. Okay. Yeah, yeah. See, one student gave message like, uh, uh, yeah, yeah. Please mute. Let me speak. Please mute.
Yeah.
See, voice is not clear. Let me speak. Okay. See here, once if the batch is confirmed, then I will change the timings. So first, let me form the batch. If the batch is formed, then changing the timing is possible. Okay. So if some students are registered for this batch, if the batch is formed, then I can change the timing. That possibility is there. I can give you that assurance. And from Monday onwards, 8:30 to 10 again, new batch I'm starting. So I will start the batches in different slots also. Evening slots I'll start. But batches will be there. Okay, according to the convenience of all the students, then I will change the timing. So you should give me 2 3 days time so that I can change the so that if all the students are confirmed and the batch is formed, then I will contact with all the students. Then I will change the timing. I should ask all the students. I cannot change the timings now, no, because now only demos are going on. Okay, so let me form the batch first. So within like if the students are registered, like Okay, okay. So like today they have told like they will contact to the students. I think they have sent mails. I think online team, or they have told. Uh, okay, okay. I'll give you your phone number. Like if the students are registered, like those are attending the classes. Um, okay, okay. I will forward your phone number to them. They will send you the details. Like for online payment, they will give you the information. Tomorrow you can. They will tomorrow. I think they will talk to you with you and other students also. They will send you the payment details. Like once if the students are registered, then we can change the timing and multiple batches I'll start. Evening slots I'll start. Regarding timings, you don't will not have any issues. Okay. Any queries, other students? If you have any doubts, you can ask me now.
Yeah, Wilson, Mahe this side.
Okay. Yeah. See, before I used to take .NET. .NET I've taught for 14, 15 years in Hyderabad in Amirpet. Like from last 4, 5 years, I'm teaching this Python. Like like I used to take offline batches, online and offline. In Durgasoft daily, I used to take 7, 8, like 6 batches. Python I used to take. Djang also I used to take. And at the end of the classes, I used to give project also to the students. So project also I'm giving. Python also course and project. In Python also with course project I'm providing. So this will be like programming only, not just telling outlines. We'll see. This is like project-oriented training. From last 4, 5 years, I'm teaching this Python, and I'm at that time I'm teaching latest versions. I'm teaching. Okay. Any doubts? See,
Yeah,
subject-wise.
Wilson. Hello.
Yeah, yeah. Please.
Yeah, basically I'm from Oracle background. How could able to help? I mean, future this Python.
See, now I'm using Python in Windows, but in real time, Python, all these are used in Linux server only. Okay, so when you see latest versions of Oracle, like 18C, all, they're full automation only. On which
Mm-hmm.
version you are working, Oracle? 8, 12C, or which one you are using?
Yeah, 12C only. But not Oracle background. I mean, Oracle Labs Technical. I am currently working.
Okay, okay, okay. So, okay. So, see, when you go for any automation and all, then Python scripting is used in database automation, like tasks
Mm-hmm.
automation. For tasks automation, scripting is used. So in
Mm-hmm.
even in Oracle also, Python scripts they'll execute for doing the tasks. Like if you take 18C, in 18C, full automation is there. Before
Mm-hmm.
administrators used to do the work manually for scheduling the tasks, running the tasks, for backup, restore, patching, all this. In 18C, full automation is there. Like if they want to go with automation of the tasks which are done by the SQL developers, Oracle developers, or administrators, then they have to use Python scripting. With the Python scripting, they have to use Linux server. In Linux server, it is used. For automation, they'll use Python. Automation of
Mm-hmm.
tasks, developer
Okay, can I
tasks,
get
or
after this course? Can I get hands-on on this? Okay, I wanted to. I mean, learn after getting hands-on experience on this. Okay, I want to learn data science. Okay, I want
yeah,
to switch.
yes, 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 yes. See here, in my classes, I will teach nearly 400 programs, 400 from every chapter, 25 programs. We'll see many programs, not just 1, 2 examples. Many programs we'll see, many examples I'll give. I will give you assignments also. So don't worry
Mm-hmm.
about like will I be able to do the course. Like if you're like if anybody is not good not having good programming skills, in my class I will explain in detail about each and every line in the program, like how the execution is done. I will tell the flow is discussed. Okay,
Yeah. Okay.
I will give you material every daily notes. I will send your mail IDs. I will give you
Mm-hmm.
material, and
Mm-hmm.
every day I will record the session. I will send it to your mail IDs. Notes
Mm-hmm.
also here you can see here.
Okay.
This is this notes is there. Python chapters notes is there.
Okay.
So you can see documentations, and in that notes you will in the file you can see the notes, and the programs also will be there. Every program I will explain. I will give you assignments. I will interact with the students. Okay, all these
Okay.
will be there. This is like offline only.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So I think you didn't watch yesterday's video, no?
Yeah,
In
I gone through
YouTube.
your videos, YouTube videos. I gone through your videos today.
Okay, then you can follow then. Then
Yeah, yeah.
tomorrow we'll continue with installation of the software. If you
Yeah.
have any doubts in the middle of the class, you can ask. I will clarify the doubts. Interaction will be there. Any doubt
Mm-hmm.
if you have, you can ask in the middle.
Yeah, sure.
Okay,
Yeah. Yeah, yeah.
bye to all. Tomorrow we'll continue.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you.
Okay, bye.